Good evening, everybody. Welcome, I guess, to the special meeting of the membership. It's June 20th. I think I've met most of you. I'm Michael Gongora with Becker and Polyakov. We serve as general counsel. We have a very short agenda this evening. Number one, certifying quorum, call to order. We'll call the meeting to order. We're not going to hit the 75% tonight. Number two, proof of notice of meeting. Madam Manager, was the meeting properly noticed?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Number three, you've told me there are no unapproved minutes to read, so we will move directly on to new business, the vote on the amendment to Declaration of Condominium. I'll start by saying that we needed a 75% vote of all units that are not suspended. That would be, according to the math that we're doing, 256 total votes in favor of the amendment. For tonight's purposes, we have 144 votes, so we're 112 short. So we'll be entertaining a motion to continue the meeting to another date so that we can have more time to get those votes. But before that time, I would like to turn it over to Ms. Dodge, the president, so she can briefly explain why it is that the board has proposed this amendment.
Good evening. I am happy to have an opportunity to explain because there's some very important considerations, especially in a time when we are seeing rising property values. That's been encouraging to many unit owners to bring their places to market, and that means increased activity in sales. We're in a growing area, a developing area, with a very large developer coming into the scene. We are the closest abutting property to a major world resort development. It's not dependent upon casinos in order to be extremely valuable. It's already actually some of the more valuable property sold in South Florida. So in consideration of that, I'd like for you to understand that we want to ensure that unit owners individually have a great deal of say in any future destiny in the building. What happens in some places, in say New York City, for example, where property is at a great premium, larger entities can buy blocks within buildings and gain control of the entire building. It would be a more aggressive kind of takeover that we might entertain as a whole group, provided we were in a position to want to sell our units for a great profit. If a very large developer owns a huge block of units, it's possible for that developer to take control of the building, and then through conditions that are much less favorable to those who still want to occupy and who do still occupy their units, to, in a sense, drive them out. And we want to ensure that that is not the case here. We want to ensure that all of us have a say in a destiny in what Venetia is in the future, because I think there's a very exciting next 10 years ahead for this community and this piece of property. So having said that, the other thing I would like to add is that there, on the practical face of it, are huge considerations related to being able to obtain funding. This year we've had our first mortgages granted by banks at Venetia. It's very exciting after years and years and years of no mortgages. And banks do not favor to lend in any building that has more than 10% ownership in the hands of one person. For some of the very same reasons that it's not good sense for us, it's not good sense for them either, to be in a building where one entity controls the destiny. So we've had a very favorable response in our voting, and even though we will not be able to tonight pass this, I really have no doubt that we will be able to do so. And I hope that answers any questions that all of you have.
Is that for commercial and residential, or only for residential?
It's for everything.
That's correct. Anybody else have any other questions or comments?
How many votes are we short?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
How
question.
many votes are we short?
We are short 112 votes.
112.
Correct. So the law allows...
75% of the 350.
Well,
You need 75% of all units in the building that are entitled to vote in favor of an amendment. So we would have needed to obtain 256 votes this evening. We have obtained 144 so far. So the law allows us to keep these votes active for 90 days and for the board to make a motion essentially to continue the meeting to another night to continue working on getting the remaining votes.
So we have another 50% of the votes.
A little less.
We've done this a few times. Where we are right now is a very favorable outcome. We've exerted practically no effort to communicate about this. People do seem to spontaneously respond with a positive vote. So,
Is there a motion by the board to continue the meeting to a later date not to exceed 90 days from tonight?
I do.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. And being that there is no further business on the agenda, I think that will adjourn tonight's special meeting.
Before we adjourn, I do have something to say. This is the microphone for guests.
Yes.
All right. My name is Lieti Lopez. I'm at 21J, and I was appointed as an ad hoc chairman of the Financial Committee some time ago. I was always to serve as a temporary ad hoc, and until we could find a permanent person to chair that committee. I am hereby tendering my resignation for personal reasons. I live here only partial time, and my unit is currently for sale, so obviously you'll be better served with someone else. And Mr. Maurice Yu has agreed to assume the chairmanship of the committee. He is very highly qualified. He is now a financial analyst with a world-class financial entity. And it's been my pleasure to serve all of you and meet several of our homeowners and renters who deeply care for this building and have its own welfare at heart. Thank you very much.
Not quite so fast, Liete. Thank you very, very much. This was not an easy position to fill, and I'm really more than delighted that Liete did not leave it until she had found an excellent replacement. And I know she has beautiful grandchildren calling her all the time in Pittsburgh. But thank you again. Thank you very much.
All right.
I believe that on that note, we will adjourn the meeting tonight. We're going to extend for another 90 days. Those of you who are here, please remind your friends and neighbors around you here at Venetia to get their votes in